This is Razer's best sounding microphone yet, and I have a lot of really good things to say about this microphone. But I'm actually going to start off with those. But TLDR, this is another example of a Razer product that functionally it's amazing. But to unlock all of its features, you have to use Razer Synapse, and that software is one of the biggest nightmares that exists. In fact, to get this recording to even work, I had to uninstall Razer Synapse from my computer entirely. But before I get into that, let me talk about what I really like about this microphone. So starting off with the specs, this has a bitrate of 24-bit, 96 kilohertz sample rate, so really high quality, but the thing is, I had to drop it down to 48 kilohertz because that's as high as you can go in OBS anyway. It's a 16mm condenser capsule, not dynamic. They actually went back to condenser for this, and for this one's 14mm. This is the Razer Seiren V3 Mini. I'll talk about this in another video. So supercardiac condenser, which means it has a tight pickup pattern. Now my PC is right behind here, and you can't really hear the fans at all. I'll be quiet. It does an absolutely amazing job of that, even compared to a lot of dynamic microphones. I'll actually do a quick sound test compared to the Shure MV7, which picks up way more background noise than that, and this is a dynamic microphone. This has a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. One of the things you'll notice about dynamic microphones is they usually can't get that full range of human hearing. Condenser microphones actually can. The build is really simple on this device. It's almost all plastic, but the grill is metal. The yoke for adjusting the mic, it's also metal. There's a little bit of foam underneath it as well. It's something to kind of diffuse the light coming out of it, but also it acts as a pop filter. So if I speak into it like now, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers, Peter Piper picked. It does a pretty good job of that. It's got a yoke attached, 3/8 and 5/8 inch threading. On the bottom of the mic itself, it's just 5/8 inch. It has a mic mute button on the top. Capacitive. There's a USB-C to A cable that's about 79.5 to 80 inches. It's braided, really good quality cable. USB-C port on the back of the microphone and a headphone jack for headphone monitoring. But this does not have a low impedance mode. So using these earbuds, these are in-ear monitors and they sound great, but for mic monitoring, a lot of devices cause like static feedback in them. So it's pretty annoying. Now the Elgato Wave XLR has a low impedance mode specifically that works with these, but this doesn't. So I'm always gonna hear that feedback and it's not good. There's a microphone volume gain knob on the front, and this is for the digital gain, so it'll also change it in the Windows sound settings. In Razer Synapse, you can toggle this between the volume gain for the mic and the headphone gain. A lot of different RGB effects on here. Actually, one of the interesting things is that this RGB effect specifically, for some reason, once I installed Synapse, this one went away. This is where it just kind of has all the colors, and then the more you talk, or I guess the louder a sound is, it'll get brighter and dimmer. And you get a lot more different options in Synapse. Also, the mic will turn red when it's muted. It's an effect that you can also toggle off in Razer Synapse. And then if you press the mute button 3 times, then it'll turn all the way off. And something that I will notice, you can hear the mute button like a little doo 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 when you're pressing it. Now, don't worry, I'm going to talk more about the features and the nightmare that Razer Synapse is, but let me talk about the audio quality. I know a lot of gamers are going to be picking this up, and of course I game a lot and stuff like that. So I'll test this in a common environment, just vocals. Now for background noise rejection, I think it does an excellent job. Now I'm doing some keyboard typing. These are some very clicky keys. This is a Logitech G815 keyboard. It makes a lot of noise and it has a kind of like, you know, that high pitched clicky kind of sound. And this is an excellent job of dealing with that. The rumbles are minimized. It's not quite as good as like, you know, like a Samsung Q2U in terms of the background noise rejection, but minimizing that, minimizing my PC fan, which is like incredibly loud. This does an excellent job. The tonality is great. It's warm, but it's very detailed. It's something that the Razer Seiren V2X, it just was a tiny bit muffled, but this has that combination of the bass of that, but at the same time, really good detail throughout, but without being too harsh in like the upper mid range and some of the treble, which is one of the things I didn't really like about the Razer Seiren V2 Pro. Also, because it's a condenser, you can speak a little bit farther away from the mic, so you don't have to have it like right up on you, right next to you. This is one of the only microphones that I can plug in. I don't need any background noise reduction filters. I don't need to change the EQ. I just love the way it sounds right out the box. All right, now I want to hear your opinion on the audio of this microphone compared to this. This is the Shure MV7. Extremely highly hyped microphone. I actually bought it for $250. Right now I'm speaking into microphone A. This is a microphone test. I have both of these devices the same distance from me, about like 4 inches away. PC fan is over here to my left. And some of the things I want you to listen back for are like the sibilance, the plosive rejection, which one is kind of like popping and things like that, the overall tonality, which of that do you like? And now I'm speaking to microphone B. Just listen to all the same things, you know, the voice tonality, highs, mids, and lows, and how it's dealing with the PC fan and how it's dealing with pulse rejection, just all the different things, and then compare which one do you actually like better, microphone A or microphone B. So as it turns out, microphone A was the Shure MV7, a dynamic microphone, and this was microphone B, the Razer Seiren V3 Chroma. And honestly, I love the sound of this a lot better. I think that this is definitely overhyped when it comes to background noise rejection. And the tonality, to me, just a little bit too harsh. Also, this isn't really that great with plosives. And if you want to hear a comparison against the Razer Seiren V3 Mini as well, I'll have another video for that. But if I have so many great things to say about this microphone, the real question now is, what are the negatives? So I took several hours to cool down after all the frustrations. I was frustrated for many hours trying to actually work with Razer Synapse because that program just has so many conflicts with audio devices. Now the program does let you do some really cool stuff. You can activate the high pass filter that's on by default. I think that's actually why some of the low rumbles aren't as obnoxious. When you have that up, it has a digital gain limiter. So if you're yelling when you're playing a game, something exciting happens, it'll cut that volume down just for that segment so that it's not going to distort the microphone. You get mic monitoring. You can change the sample rate. And then of course, all the different lighting effects. But at the end of the day, with Synapse installed, I simply could not record this video in OBS without this static crackling sound. And honestly, listening to this back, I think actually that static sound was the really quiet sound of the PC fans. This auto gain control, like automatically boosting it to a certain level. I'm not sure why it even does that, but just listen. But for some reason, it's taking this really quiet signal and then like boosting it, which is causing a lot of like artifacting. And the limiter, it has a minor effect. It's not as strong as with the auto gain control on, but with both of these off, you don't hear that obnoxious sound at all. Eventually, Razer Synapse just stopped recognizing the mic entirely. I restarted my computer to make sure things were working. I tried different cables. It ended up not being the cable. I unplugged, plugged it back in. Eventually, Razer Synapse just straight up stopped even recognizing the mic. Like it would see it was there, but it would just get in a loop where it would just keep spinning. I tried to reinstall Synapse by like repairing it. Well, once I uninstalled Razer Synapse, the microphone finally works again. So TLDR, I love the sound of this microphone. The aesthetics are great, but if you're gonna buy this microphone, just be really prepared for issues with Razer Synapse. Be prepared for certain audio programs like Audacity or OBS just not accepting the mic or not recording, or even Razer Synapse not detecting the mic and not being able to change the lighting settings or anything like that. Just if you're gonna get it, be aware of that.